guys, it's Tao from Shine Bright Design, and today I am bringing you this piece from Hanna Karlzon's book Magical Dawn. And I just got Magical Dawn and I'm going to do my first piece. So we're going to start doing the skin tone, and I'm going to start off with a light color, and that is Light Flesh, which is 132. And so as you can see, I'm not working from the book. I'm actually working on a piece of paper. And this paper is from Fabiano, and this is actually watercolor paper, but it's like hot press paper. And it's smooth, and you might be asking me why I'm using hot press paper. I don't know, because I really should be using a rough paper because it has more grain. But I'm just testing out this paper to see how it goes. And yeah, I was using this paper for a coloring tutorial recently, and I really enjoyed it, so that's why I'm using it today. So basically with the light application, we're just going to go over just the skin tone. I'm going to go in with a dark color, and this is Red Violet, which is 194. And let me sharpen my pencil. And what I'm going to basically do is do some underpainting. So I'm going to go around the eyes with a light hand, and we're just going to do small circular scumming motions with a light application, a light pressure, and just do some shadow around the eyes. A small circular scumming motion. We're just going to do some underpainting with this Red Violet, which is 194. Try also rotating your pencil as well, so that you keep rotating the points so that you're not working on a blunt edge, and keeping your application very light. And eventually you'll just keep building up those layers one by one. Again, with the red violet, we are going to create some more underpainting. We're just going to do some underpainting around the shadow of the jawline. I'm just going to make the cheeks kind of pucker in a little. I'm keeping my application really light because we are going to keep building upon these layers. I'm going to put some shadow also underneath all this jewelry. And at the moment, remember, we're just laying down the foundations of everything. We're just doing the underpainting. There's no skin tones yet. It's just all focusing on shadows at the moment. And if you've been following me for a while now, you would be noticing I'm learning new techniques day by day, and I'm incorporating them into my tutorials. So underpainting is a thing that I've been doing for the past couple months, and yeah, I'm using it more now in my tutorials because I'm seeing the benefits of underpainting and using color to create shadow. Today I decided to actually do an artwork not in the book and on this piece of paper because I actually want to fill in my empty frames on my walls. And if you've been watching my videos, you would have seen one of my latest videos, which is a room tour. And in that room tour I showed you guys my artworks and what was on the wall, what was in my art room. And I basically started removing artworks from those frames because I'm using it as motivation to want to finish artworks such as this on a piece of paper and actually putting it in the frame. I'm actually going to deepen a bit of the shadows around the eyes. I know it's underpainting, but I just want to do it just to make it more intense. Give us some foundations as well to work with when we start layering the tan colors and the skin tones on top. Keeping that sky in motion present in your application. And by doing that, you're going to minimize the graininess. The circular motions can be small, it can be big, whatever is your preference. Small the better though, because you'll see less grain and streaks. Okay, so going in with the same color, which is Red Violet 194, I'm just going to keep adding those shadows and do that underpainting. Remember, these are the foundations of your piece, so don't expect things to fall into place so quickly.
What's short properly next time?
Alright guys, so keeping on with your color, which is Red Violet, just keep doing those shadows with this color. Remember, don't expect this to come together so quickly because we are underpainting. This is the foundations of your piece. So by laying down this color, we're going to give it a bit of warmth to the skin, but at the same time you also need to do a bit of coolness as well. Now I'm just going to add some shape to the nose, but I don't want to add too much color. I don't want to add too much red, just enough to give myself, I guess, structure. And remember, we're going to keep it really light as well. Keeping your application in circular motions. And really light, keeping it really light. Now, the theory of underpainting is that this red, this violet color will eventually disappear because you're going to put other colors on top to neutralize it. But by using this color underneath, we're going to give it shadow without using that black or that brown. And that's what we don't want to do. We don't want to create shadow by using those colors because those colors can become muddy over time. My theory for using this paper as well, guys, is that I feel because it is meant for watercolor paper, I feel like this paper would be very good if you're someone who likes to do a lot of blending with the white spirits, like you know, odorless solvents and whatnot. I'm just going to add some shadow under the neck. I actually have no idea what this is going to look like. You guys know me, I don't plan anything. I kind of let the artistic flow come through me, and I just let it take me on a journey. I want to do some shadows here underneath the nipples as well. I'm going to go in with a cobalt blue, which is 144, and I'm using this to do some cool shadows. So I'm going to do it around the eyes, and we're using very light application as well. I'm doing small circular motions, and I'm working my way right up to the brow bone. And my theory is that when I add colours on top, it's going to neutralise and appear more colder. I'm going to add a bit of this blue around the nose because of the shadow in there, and also alright, so that's a bit of the underpainting. And then we're going to move on to more of the skin tones. Hi guys, it's Tao and we are back, day 2. Let's see how much I can get done today and we will go from there. So we've done all our underpainting and now we are going to go in with some burnt ochre, which is 187. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over all these colors we've laid down, but I'm going to still go over with a light hand. We're just going to blend out. So what I want you to do with a light hand is to go in with a light hand, and then with your scumming motion I want you to feather it out. So in a sense you're going to neutralize the colors already laid down by laying down this color on top. You'll still see the warmth of that red, but see how that violet color has now changed. And we are going to do our circular scumming motion because that is a very seamless technique we can use to keep everything very smooth and not strokey. See how by adding that color, the dynamics of the face has already changed. And because we were working with very light application, and previously around here you would have seen a very streakiness going on, but by doing circular motions on top, we are neutralizing that out. So it doesn't, to me, I wouldn't be worried if you are doing a lot of back and forth motions in the beginning, because one, you're going to build up those layers, and later on you're working with a very light hand, and your layers are very, very light anyway. So I wouldn't be so much worried. So remember to rotate your pencil, which is what I'm doing now. I noticed my pencil is getting kind of blunt, and now I rotated it, and now it's at a sharper point right now, and I am using that edge to do my scumming motion. So as I have mentioned in the past, it's really important to get into practice like I have, this circular scumming motion, but also the rotation of your pencil. And the reason I do that is because it kind of extends the life of the tip, and what happens is over time you're going to start using your pencil and it's going to become blunter and blunter. The one way you can extend it is, you know, rotating your pencil. In a way, you're kind of like shaving off each side of the tip. And because you're keeping your layers really light, you really can't see, because you're working in really light layers, you start noticing all these colors, the colors that I've laid down, the violets and the blue. It start to kind of not mute out, but it becomes very much an undertone. And that's why I call it underpainting, because I'm using color to create shadow. Rotating my pencil again, and you start to notice that I probably should go a bit closer and fix the lighting for you guys. Possibly even closer. There we go. See how by doing that underpainting, it's really given the skin a very interesting tone. And it's a very, I find this so far very intriguing with the use of colors that I've done. And obviously, eventually over time, with layers, it's going to look better and better. And see how now I'm going over that violet shadow and just blending that out. You can still see the violet in there, but it's going to neutralize eventually with this color. And the reason I put down violet because I knew violet would give this piece a very warm tone. And I placed cool colors down where I would think there would be darker shadows. So I only have very basic knowledge about colors and how to use color in art and whatnot. From my, I guess, education in high school and design school, this is where I'm bringing all my knowledge from. And in a way, I am more likely a self-taught artist rather than a classically trained artist. I could call myself an artist, I can call myself a creative. My mediums very much change over time. I can use whatever medium I want in order to create art. To me, that's what an artist is, using any medium, as well as, you know, focusing on one medium if that's your style. But for me, I think it's really great to be an artist that is not only classically trained in one form of medium, but branches out to others, you know. I'm noticing my pencil's getting a bit blunt, so I'm rotating again. And I'm going over these violet in this burnt ochre, and I'm neutralizing it with small scumming motions with a light hand. And what you'll notice is when you rotate your pencil, it's going to appear sharp sharp at first, because you've been working with a blunt side and then changing over to a sharper side. So you're going to notice a bit of difference when you're working with the same pressure. So when you rotate your pencil, just go extra light so you can kind of have a feel for the tip. Working on the neck, remember to rotate your pencil. At the same time, when I think about going back to art school to learn about painting or learn about drawing and whatnot again. I think that if I studied art classically and had classical training, would that interfere with my style now? It's something to consider, but yeah. So I'm going to go in with that burnt ochre, and we're just going to go over the violet and the blue and just like feather things out. Remember to have your circular scumming motion. So as you notice, there's a bit of green going on, but we'll definitely fix that up later on. And that green has happened because blue and this burnt ochre. So I'm just going to keep neutralizing out these blues and violets. I really love when I do really different skin tones. It makes things so exciting because one, I'm venturing to new territory, and I find colors like this so intriguing. So last week I would have done the E Vampire Les Sorelli piece by Jasmine Becker Griffith, and I really loved those tones that I was doing in the skin, and I'm loving these tones that I'm doing in the skin too. And I guess when I'm doing things like this, like a lot of people would get scared, but I don't get scared. I just think new challenges, new things, and it excites me. It just gets that fire burning, you know? But yeah. So I'm like neutralizing out those reds and violets, and we have these greens that are bothering me. So the way that I'm going to neutralize that out is I'm going to go in with a pink. And what I'm hoping, so I've watched a few videos with pastel, right? And a lot of the time they put green first and then they put pink on top. So I'm hoping that going over in pink or even a red will neutralize this green tone that I've placed. So I'm getting this pink, which is medium fleck, which is 131, and I'm doing small circular motions over that blue color, and I'm blending that out. And as you can see, it's pretty much turning that green into a dark color, which I love. I like. I wish I had time to, I guess, study more on this color theory, but when I have time I will definitely do that. And just rotating my pencil again just so I can get this pink on top and neutralize things out. So we're just going to keep neutralizing things out with circular motions. Just see how I've gone in with the pink, and if you compare on sides, it has neutralized that pink feel, and that blue has become more of a shadow now. I'm just trying to not put too much pink in, and I'm still trying to feather this out as well. Sorry, that was just my phone, not on silent. It is now on silent. So going to the other side, you'll start to see that blue tint disappearing. I find using these colors to create shadow more intriguing than using a black. I find black, there's that risk that when you use black it turns muddy, and I don't like that look. So that's why I like to use colors. Sometimes I will go in with black, but obviously I'll do it later on because at the very end normally I'll go in with black if I want to do some more shadows to create contrast, if I want to do it quick. But if I have time, I'm happy to do it in color. Of course I have plenty of time because there's no deadlines for this. It's just I create work and I upload it. There's no clients or whatnot. No one's purchasing my artworks or pieces. But yeah, there is no rush, but I like to stick to my scheduling timelines or deadlines. And honestly, if I had plenty of time, I would spend so much time on these if I could. But I don't have that much time because I have to work, you know? And so my time on this is limited, as you guys know. I've always repeat this to you guys. I'm sorry for getting my head in shot. I'm sorry for not getting lovely camera shots. I try my best. You have to also understand that doing the artwork itself is also another aspect of things than doing the filming. The filming aspect is another dimension to this video. And you have to respect that not everyone can multitask. I can multitask, but I'm not the best at it, guys. I try my best, but you know, it's hard to stay it's hard to be aware of the camera and where things are, as well as doing the piece itself. That's why when I'm doing this, I try to be at my most zen state. Okay, so as you can see, this area is really blue. I'm hoping this pink will very much neutralize it. And let's just see. And see how that green tone has kind of neutralized a little? Oh, I'm so happy. When I like do things like this and I see good results, I get really happy. I'm like, oh, looks so good. But yeah, I know a lot of you guys hate that I talk, sorry. And you guys say I feel like I need to talk. But remember guys, you're always welcome to mute the video. I'm saying this early in the video. Guys, if you don't like the way I speak or what I talk about or my instructions, you can mute the video now and you can put on something in the background and just watch. Some other people like to listen to instructions and hear the color codes. And you know, this channel is a community, so I'm chit-chatting, I'm talking about my life, I'm vlogging, you know, and if you don't like what I'm vlogging about, what I'm talking about, just mute it, stop complaining. That's just how this channel works. We try to satisfy everyone and not everyone is satisfied. So there's other options. One, mute your channel, mute the channel, watch the video, or listen to what I have to say and join in the conversation, you know. There are always people who comment on my page. I know who you are, I pay attention. So, you know, get involved in the conversation. Say something about yourself, tell me, well, how's your day? Why are you coloring today? And how are you feeling? Are you okay? You know? So, this is medium flesh, which is 131. And we're using this pink color to neutralize things. We're neutralizing the blue that was laid down, we're neutralizing the green that's coming through. You can see there's some green coming around the nose, and that's because the blue and the burnt ochre that was mixed together. And that's what happens sometimes. When you notice these colors come up, you can always neutralize them with the opposing colors. So the reason I use pink and not red is because it's skin tone and I don't want it to be too red, too crimson. But later on, if I notice that it's definitely not knocking back, I can always go in with a red or a red tone. So I thought already that I could possibly go in with Tuscan red if I wanted, but I'll wait up till later on. See how this was very much blue and now it's kind of gone more of a shadow gray. I feel like I've gone a bit too much here with the pink, so I am going to try and knock it back. Now, how am I going to knock it back? I'm not quite sure yet, but let's see if this eraser can help. It might not be the smartest choice, but let's just see. Making sure my eraser is clean. I'm just going to try. Okay, see how I've kind of knocked the color back a little? I'm doing it on this side as well. Yeah, I just wanted to lift that color a little. Okay, so this is the Derwent mechanical eraser. Let's just get this in focus. Yes. So this is it's more precision eraser, and I love it. I bought it last year. I love Derwent. As you can see, the sharpener and the eraser is amazing. If you're really into coloring, you should really get it. As you can see, it's kind of unbalanced here, and so I want to try and balance it out. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to go in with this blue that we picked up before, and I'm trying to balance out this shadow. It's not balanced here. So I'm going to just go in with a light hand and try to build it up. As you can see, what I'm trying to do is to balance out that facial contour. Alright, so that blue was the cobalt blue, which was 144, and now we're going to go in with that burnt ochre again, which is 187, and we're just going to go on top of that blue that I just laid down, and we're going to try and feather it out and blend it out with a light hand, guys. And that what that does is it will neutralize the blue into a green. And remember to do your circular scumming motion. If you don't know what scumming is, please watch my basics pencil tutorial. I have a couple, one on blending, one on shading. I might do one on color theory as well, but in all all in all, I think that I might do that later on when I've kind of built up my knowledge about color theory, because at the moment I'm still learning about color theory and things like shading with color and underpainting and all that jazz. So going in with this burnt ochre, we are trying to neutralize this blue that we laid down. And I like to use colors to create shadow, as you guys know. And as you can see here, it looks very, very green, and that's because we mixed the blue with the burnt ochre. And the way to neutralize that is to use this medium flesh pink. Now this medium flesh pink is called, is numbered 131, and we're basically just going to go over everything, this blue color that we see, and we're just going to try and neutralize it out. Now go and have a light application when you're doing this, and what it will do, it will neutralize things out. But remember to go beyond that and just feather out. And do the same to the other side with your circular scumming motion. Remember to rotate your pencil as well, so that you work on different sides of the pencil. There we go. See how look like it has a blue tone to the shadow, but I actually like it because one, it's not black. One, it's not a muddy brown, you know. And I like that I'm using color to create shadow. It gives this color a lot of interest. I'm going to go over here on the nose because this blue is still popping out. So now that we've kind of neutralized everything out, I'm going to go in with cinnamon. Cinnamon is 189, and I'm basically going to go over everything with a light hand and do circular scumming method, scumming motion out. Let me just zoom out. Still going with cinnamon. I'm just going over all the layers and just blending everything out. Keeping all the highlight sections quite clean. And doing it in small circular motions as well. And today I'm working with Faber Castells, Faber Castell Polychromos instead of the Prismacolor range. So if you guys know, I have two sets, or three sets. One is the Faber Castell watercolors, pencils, and the Faber Castell Polychromos. I never pronounce the Faber Castell watercolor pencils because I just don't know how to pronounce it. And I don't want to butcher it. But I also have the Prismacolor Polychromos as well. My goal is to have the skin finished by the end of the day. But we'll see. I probably have the skin like maybe half finished right now. But yes. Okay, so that's enough of cinnamon. Picking up light flesh, which is 132. Just in small circular scumming motions. We are also going to blend this further and further up into the highlight zone with a light application, guys. rotating your pencil. How beautiful is this paper, right guys? Like, I actually didn't think earlier to use this paper. Though it doesn't have that much grain, I feel like it should have more grain, but hot press paper is absolutely amazing paper. And I think this paper would look great when I start using blending solvents as well, which I will use blending solvents very soon. But I just think it looks amazing. And the thing is, like, by using blending solvents on this, I'm not damaging the tooth of the paper. But really guys, there's not much tooth to go with, so yeah. I feel like this camera doesn't do this piece justice, because at the moment the camera just looks, it doesn't look like what I see. There's a lot of color to this. And this is like one of the best vlogging video cameras that you can get. So I wish it had better color, but maybe that's the lighting, I'm not quite sure. And because I've been using a light hand, a lot of the highlight sections here look like they're just white, but they're really not. It's because I'm using a light hand and light application, but color is laid over there. You can just, also by looking at the contrast too in the cheekbones, it just makes it look even brighter than it is. Okay, so I'm putting this color not down yet, just let me do some itty bitty bits. Now I'm going to go in with cream. Just let me sharpen my pencil. And small circular scumming motion. Just work over those colors and work towards the center of the highlight zone. you can definitely still see the grain in the pencil, in the paper, but we will fix that very soon. And you know, like, guys, there's no, at the end of the day, there's not much you can do about this grain. You could burnish the hell out of it and get rid of the grain, or else you can do what I do and use solvents. And I'm going to show you how I do that today. Because one, I don't want to really damage the paper by keeping on pressing this stuff. I think this page is almost ready to start some burnishing. Obviously you have to put enough layers for it to make it worth doing so, but when you have enough layers you can definitely start using blending solvents. And in my blending tutorial I didn't do a great example of multiple colors layered and using a white solvent. So today I am going to show you how to use a white solvent with this, and then I'll let it dry, and then I'll probably work into it on another day. But I will show you now how to use blending solvents. Okay, let me get my brush. Let me zoom out. Okay. I'm using a watercolor brush, and this is a number 6 brush by Faber Castell, and I'm using Zest it. Now, the way I do it is I dip it in just a little, and I just wipe off the excess on the side, and I just glaze it. I don't really rub, I just glaze. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the light sections and then work my way around. And now I'm working my way around. So from the highlight sections, I'm working out. I'm being careful not to, I guess, do a scrubbing method, more of like a glazing. So you're just glazing over. as you can see, just glazing over things, it's really much helped the skin have that blurry effect. And that what gets rid of the graininess. So you can see the skin has started to look very blurry. So the skins look very almost like, how do I explain it? It's very much as if you have like a filter over everything and everything is smooth and has that Photoshop, that blurring effect. But really, that's what you achieve when you're working with white solvents. As long as you glaze things correctly and not scrub. When you start scrubbing, you start seeing the pigments lift. But for now, we are done with the skin for now. And I'm going to let this dry and then we'll work into it again. Hi everyone, it's Tao from Shine Bright Design and this is day 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some of this red violet, which is 194, and with small circular motions I'm just going to go back into this shadow section and just put in some red warmth into it. I'm just going to go very lightly as well. So by this time the zester that we placed on top would have dried completely, so now we're just going to add more layers on top. What's good about Zest is that it doesn't damage the paper when you're using it. So I haven't at all burnished any of this paper, which allows me to still add layers Now I'm using this red or this violet color because I just want to knock back that blue. So what was I saying? Yes, I'm using this red violet because I'm trying to knock back that blue and make it a bit more subtle. So I'm just doing small circular motions. I'm just going to do it here also on the nose. I'm just going to try and like add some shadow. I'm going to focus a bit of this red violet more on the neckline as well. Because I'm just going to try and knock back this blue. And I'm still keeping my layers very light with light application as well, just to avoid burnishing that paper. This is my first attempt also printing work onto a piece of paper, and I actually like it. I'm actually really liking working on a flat surface rather than out of a book. I'm going to put more of this violet up top here, just to enhance that shadow. Because at the moment, as you can see, the contrast between above to down here is very different. keeping those small circular motions. As you can see from this side, it very much matches the contrast of the page, and that's why I'm putting a bit more on the left here. I'm just going to put a bit more of that red violet on the nose. Now I'm going to go also on the other side of the nose, and I'm going to show you a bit closer under the nose so you can see how close I'm working. See how I'm not working right up to the edge? I'm actually leaving a bit so that it appears there is some sense of light. And I'm doing this just to add contrast. I'm just going to add more red violet here under the chin because I can still see a bit of blue. And I don't want that look where it looks bruised. So any area that looks like it's more bruising of the skin, I'm trying to overlay with a red tone just to knock it back a bit more. Sorry, that was just my phone. I always get YouTube notifications when I'm working as well, so I always forget to turn off my sound. Yeah, so as you can see here, I'm trying to knock back that blue that you see in the skin, making it more look like a shadow rather than anything. Now I can use a red to knock it back, and if I don't want to use a red, I can use more like a peach color. So that's something that we probably will do as well. So keeping those small circular motions as well. I'm going to also work under here because you can see there is some blue, and I just want to even out that contrast at what we did above. So in small circular motions, and remember to rotate your pencil as well. We're just going to add some of this red just to give it that even contrast to the top. I'm going to go in with a peach color. And that color is, well, it's not really a peach color, but more cinnamon. So I'm going in with cinnamon, which is 189, and I'm just going to go over these shadow sections. Please guys, if you like my work, please support me on Patreon. My link is in my description box below or on my YouTube channel. As you guys know, I don't get funding for any of these YouTube videos, so if you help me by supporting my Patreon, that really helps with resources that I use to create these videos for you guys. And as much as I love creating these videos, it does get a bit expensive at times, you know, paying for supplies, paying for paper, and art stuff, as you guys know, isn't cheap. And when you also think about filming and the time taken to do it as well. Of course I have a job, but I need to make my hobbies worthwhile, or else I probably will just end up coloring and not filming it. And a lot of the time you will notice, if it keeps going the way it does, it will just be a hobby, and I'm going to produce less and less work. So not all my work that I create will be up then for grabs. So yeah, if you guys, you know, if you guys can, please support me on Patreon. It would be, I would really appreciate it. If you really like my work and what I do, what I teach, and you know, how I teach, support me. So I'm going to put a bit of this cinnamon also on the bridge of the nose and give the nose a bit of shape. I'm also going to do the side of the nose as well, and in circle motions start moving that up. Now I'm going to blend out that red violet that we laid down as well. I'm just going to blend out the contours and sides of the cheek. And I think this is probably one of the first pieces where I feel like I don't need to burnish. And it's probably because the paper. I'm going to go here above the brow bone. And I've been doing very light pressure through this whole thing, and I feel like I don't need to push anymore. So that's the skin. I'm really loving this, guys, so far. It looks amazing. Let me just record some colors and then we'll move on. Okay, so we are doing an eye tutorial right now. I am not amazing at eyes, but we'll see what we can do. So I'm grabbing this, what is this? This is Walnut Brown, which is 177. And I'm starting from dark to light first. And I'm just going to show you why. I'm just going to add my shadows firstly. In a small circular motion with a light hand, we're just going to create the shadows of this eye. I might start off with one eye first. Actually, no, wait, I'll do it both at the same time so that they're the same. Okay, I'm going to go in with the light color, and this color is called yellow, light yellow ochre, which is 183. And with a light hand, I'm also doing small circular motions. I'm going to sharpen this pencil first. Alright, I'm going in with a color called terracotta, which is 186, and I'm just going to create some texture. So with that, I'm going to go right near the pupil, and with a light hand, we're just going to create some depth around the pupil. I'm just making sure you can see that in shot. Around the pupil, and I'm trying to try and create some texture. And by doing that, I'm just going to do some strokes with a sharp pencil. I'm going to also do that from the outer edge too. With a sharp pencil. Start feathering it towards the center. With a sharp pen, I'm going to do some strokes from the outside to the inside. I'm going to do the same thing with that light yellow ochre. I'm also adding some strokes to give it some texture in the eye. And now I'm going to go in with the burnt sienna, which is 283. We're just going to create some depth and shadow and do some lines from the outside to the inside. We're going to go in with this walnut brown again, which is 177. I'm going to go back and add that shadow at the top. I'm going to sharpen this. I just want that sharp point. I'm just going to add also some texture. Alright, there's our eye. I'm going to go in with a posca pen and carefully do the pupil. And that's one eye. I'm going to go in with the grey. Just let me sharpen this. And this grey is 231. And I'm just going to run it at the top here and fade it down. Now I'm going to go in with this medium flesh, which is 131, and just colour in here. I'm going with a light hand and I'm going to just blend it out to the eye. I'm going to put a bit of pink also within the eye, because you know eyes aren't all completely white. I'm going to sharpen it a little and just do a couple of lines, because you know there are some veins in your eye. I'm going to do that also with the grey, but I'm going to go in with a darker grey. I'm going to sharpen it. Now this grey is Cold Grey 3, which is 3232. And I'm going to go in with my sharp pencil and do a couple of lines. There we go. I'm trying to give it a sense of more realism, and hopefully you guys appreciate that. So now with this Cold Grey, which is the 232, I'm just gonna add some depth behind this pupil and just blend out this grey a little. And there we go. That's one eye. Now we're going to repeat on the other side. So what we did before was, after we did the base with walnut brown and then in with the light ochre, light yellow ochre, we went in with a terracotta. Now terracotta is 186, and making sure that this is sharp. And with your sharp point, I want you to go from the pupil with a light pressure, go in and feather it out. And then do some lines. Now I'm going to go in from the other side and then feather towards the center, and then also run some lines in. I like to do this because I like to give eyes texture, and I don't really like to do the type of anime eye look because, well, this is not an anime piece, so that is why I prefer this method. Now going in with a light yellow ochre, which is 183, we are also going to do some lines. And then in with burnt sienna, which is 283. we're going to go in with that walnut brown, which is 177, and we're just going to go back into that shadow just to deepen the colour. And now we're going to also run that walnut brown on the areas that we want to create texture. So I'm just doing some lines. Being sure to rotate my pencil. And with that walnut brown, I'm also going to outline these eyes and shade it. Also down here on the lower lash. Now I'm going to go in with that light grey, which is 231. I'm going to go up here at the top of the eyelid, shade it and feather it down. Now I'm going to go in with the medium flesh, which is 131. I'm going to go in with a medium application and start feathering out to a light application towards the eye. And I'm going to do a little here towards the bottom of it as well. Now with this medium flesh, I'm going to do a couple of veins, or bloodshot veins. Not too hard, keeping it very light, because you know all eyes have veins, they're not always white. I'm just trying to give it something realistic. Now going in with the grey, the darker one that we used previously, it's 232. I'm going to go and do a couple more lines as well. Now with that same grey, we're just going to add some shadow behind the eye. And by doing that, we're just going to go with a light application and feather it out. There we go. Now going in with your Posca pen, this is a 1mm Posca pen. I'm just going to do the pupil, being very careful. So those are my eyes. I'm just going to let the black ink dry before I do any other details. But then I'll probably move on and do the lips here with similar colours. So picking up cinnamon, which is 189, with a light application, I'm gonna avoid, actually I should probably zoom in way closer for you guys. I wanna not do the complete full lip, and I'm not going to do the center of it. So as you can see, I avoided this section and a bit of the top lip, doing in small circular motions and gradually building up that colour. Now I'm going to go in with a medium flesh, which is 131. In small circular motions, we're just going to build up that colour. I'm just going to add a few strokes just to give it that lip texture. Okay, now I'm going to go in with this Pompeii red, which is 191. I'm going to go in with dark flesh, which is 131. I'm just using this just do some lines. Now I want to pick up that violet red that we chose in the beginning, and I want to go over these lines. I want to blend it in. I'm going to zoom out as I want to see what this looks like as a whole. I want to pick up that Pompeii red again. I'm just going to blend it down. Just using that Pompeii to blend out that red violet. Small circular motions. Just blending everything out. I'm going to go in with that red violet again with light circular motions. I'm just going to blend everything out. Okay, going back in with cinnamon, I'm going to blend everything together. Not hitting all the highlight sections. And now I'm going to grab a cream. Actually, not a cream. I'm going to grab a light flesh. That is 132. And I'm just going to burnish. And I'm going to blend that out as well. There we go. Now I'm going to grab a bit of this, this walnut brown, and I'm just going to colour in these nostrils. That's all we're doing. We're not doing any shading. We're just going to colour it in. I'm actually just right now just extending that across the nose. And I'm just shading out this line so it doesn't appear as harsh. And I'm doing it to the same on the other side as well. And then I'm just going to shade here and for the nose. There we go. And then here on the eyes. So what I'm doing is I'm shading over and feathering out because I don't want those lines to appear. I actually want it to almost look like it's shading. So to me those little lines are just anchor points, or I guess like a map to how we should colour it. There we go. That adds a lot of contrast. I'm just going to try and even out this colour. Now I want to do this also beneath the lip. And then at the chin. And then here on the side. With this walnut brown, which is 177. Remember not to press too hard, we're keeping it still quite light. I'm going to go in with a bit of this walnut brown around the lips, just here at the top. I'm probably just going to try and blend out that shadow here. I'm going to go in with a white and hopefully this works. I'm going to go along here. It looks like that doesn't work, so I'm going to go in with a white gel pen. White gel pen's probably a bit too weak, so let's try this Posca pen. I'm going to do some highlights on the lips. And across the nose. So I'm going in with this white pencil, which is 101, on top of that Posca pen. We're just going to see how that turns out. What I love about Posca pens is that with the paint marker, you can scratch it away. There we go. Let me zoom out. The face is coming together. I'm going to do lashes and then we'll move on. Okay guys, so we have finished the skin. There are some finishing touches that I do want to do, and I just want to add a bit more shadow around the eyes. So what I'm going to do is picking up Cold Grey 5, which is 254. I'm just going to add some shadow around the eyes here. And let's just zoom in. I'm actually pretty happy with the eyes, but I just want to just make things look more balanced and realistic. So with this pencil, which is 254 again, we're just going to go in and just blend and shade out. I want to do the center as well. And then I want to do the other side. I'm going to go in with some black. This is the black pencil from Faber Castell, which is 199, and I'm just going to blend this black into that grey from the waterline, just to make things more blended. Because this black eyelash, the lashes are very, very strong, and so by putting this black between the grey and the pupils and eye, we're just trying to soften everything. Yes. Sorry, that's just my computer. Alright, I feel like that just takes things a bit further, and I feel like little details make such a difference. There we go. So I think we are done with the eyes and the face. There are just some minor details, which is the eyebrows, which we'll do later with the hair, and then we'll do the jewelry with the nose piece as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the background, or with the plant sections, which is here and all around the neck. And then what I'm going to do is do those bits, and then we're going to put everything together. Because at the moment, I don't know what type of hair color I want, but I know that these flowers on the around this figure is very important. So I want to focus on that first, and then kind of bring everything together with choosing hair that is complementary to those flowers.